Watch this. One tiny change in your serve motion creates spin or no spin while contacting the exact same spot. Even a top 3 national player couldn't tell the difference. What if your spin serve and your no spin serve looked exactly the same to your opponent? That's the idea behind same contact point deception, and this technique once fooled a top 3 nationally ranked player. Watch closely, both serves contact the lower half of the racket face. The first serve, heavy spin, lower half. The second serve, no spin, still the lower half. Same contact zone every time. If you tried hitting the upper half, it's nearly impossible to control. You'd catch the edge constantly. So from the front, both serves look identical. That's what makes this so deceptive. Next, let me start with a simple version. Even if you've only been playing a few months, as long as you can do a hook serve, you can pull this off. We're working on short serves today, so within the hook serve framework, you don't have to stand way over on your backhand side. You can stand in the middle, slightly toward the backhand. That way you're not stranded if the return goes to your backhand. Now, the side spin backspin version. The principle is dead simple, it's just a push. A regular push goes downward, right? I simply do that push in a hooked position. Watch, hook the wrist and push downward. That's your side spin backspin. You brush the ball on the lower half of the racket, keep the racket angle like a push, guide the ball downward with friction. That's it. Watch this one, heavy side spin backspin, very strong rotation. For more spin, you snap the wrist a little at contact. Here's the key mindset I always tell my students. When you serve backspin, think push. Whether it's a left side hook or any variation, backspin equals push in your head. And when you serve topspin, think drive. So if side spin backspin is hooking downward like a push, then side spin topspin is hooking upward like a drive. Watch, I just take that same motion and hook it upward. That's your side spin topspin. Watch my partner try to push this one back. See how the upward brush is fuller here? It's almost like a small forehand drive or a mini topspin loop, just in the hooked position. Because of the hook grip, you can really get under the ball and come up, unlike a standard left side spin serve where the upward motion is limited. The hook serve lets you swing up freely, like a small loop, like a compact forehand drive. Watch. I do a forehand drive in the hooked position, a smaller, tighter forehand drive, and that's your side spin topspin serve. Now, if your side spin topspin comes out weak or half spin, you're almost certainly not carrying the ball upward along this path. You're drifting downward instead, and combined with no wrist acceleration, you get a floater. So the principle is clear. For side spin topspin, guide the ball through a forehand drive motion, bottom to top, in the hooked wrist position. That's your side spin topspin. Now the problem. If your topspin serve looks like a drive and your backspin serve looks like a push, your opponent reads you instantly. So you need deception, make one motion look like the other. Let's start by disguising topspin as backspin. Watch in slow motion. For backspin, I cut downward, brushing this contact point. You can see the downward friction clearly. My partner pushes it back, pure backspin, no problem. Now the topspin version. Normally I'd swing up obviously, but that's readable. Instead, I sacrifice some upward motion and focus on deception. Watch. I bring the racket up just slightly. Then immediately cut downward. Watch again, a small lift, then straight into the downward cut. The two blend together seamlessly. Think of it like floors in a building. First floor, second floor, third floor. A full side spin topspin goes from the first floor all the way to the third, obviously upward. Instead, I only go to the first and a half floor, maybe the second floor, and I stop. As long as you brush upward even slightly, there will be side spin topspin on the ball. Then from that height, I immediately drop into a downward cutting motion, the fake push. Watch the sequence. Slight rise, stop, then cut down. That downward follow-through is pure deception. Watch my partner try to receive this one. See, that's side spin topspin. You have to sacrifice the full upward swing. If you complete the whole motion, your opponent sees the spin clearly. How much you disguise depends on your opponent's level.
对，
Then watch the backspin. I cut straight down. Now the topspin. Step 1, a small upward brush, then step 2, the fake downward cut. Put them together in one fluid motion. Watch my partner receive. First a backspin serve. See, that's clearly backspin, easy to push back. Now the same motion but with topspin hidden inside. One critical rule, don't go too high on the upward phase or the fake becomes obvious. If you swing all the way up like this, your opponent will attack it. Stay compact, push forward slightly, then snap downward quickly. As long as you brush with the right touch, the deception works. Don't try to maximize both the spin and the full motion. If you complete the entire swing, your opponent reads it immediately.
一坐马就是一个上旋或一个下旋，就一下就
When you
跨出
go
来
all
了。
out, big upward swing for topspin, big downward chop for backspin, you're playing with your cards face up. Your opponent sees the spin before the ball even arrives. So the key is speed in the wrist action. For sidespin topspin, brush sideways, then snap downward immediately after. Sideways, then down fast. Combine that quick hand with your body selling the downward motion because you're disguising the topspin. Watch, does this look like backspin to you? It really does. My partner tries to push it back, and it kicks up pure sidespin topspin.
像，我这
Add a little fake effort on the downward follow-through, really sell it with your body, and most opponents won't catch it. Long serves work the same way, same principle, same deception. Your body and arm pretend to drive downward hard, but all of that is fake. The only real part is this tiny brush right here at contact. Everything above it is theater. If you want your serve to be truly deceptive, the real motion has to stay small. Your fake motion must always be bigger than your real motion. That's what creates confusion. If everything you do is real, your opponent captures too much useful information. Now the second type of fake motion, disguising your backspin serve. After a sidespin topspin, your follow-through naturally sweeps upward, right? So for sidespin backspin, you do the opposite. After contact, flick the racket upward as your fake follow-through. That upward finish sells topspin even though you just put backspin on the ball. Watch, when the racket comes straight up after contact, that's genuine sidespin topspin. My partner reads it easily, the ball kicks up. Now watch this one. I dip down slightly at contact, then bring the racket up. That tiny downward brush is the real backspin. The upward finish is pure theater.
哇，这真是，嘎就往上飞。对。
After that, a good serve doesn't need to be extreme. It just needs the topspin and backspin versions to look identical. The moment your opponent hesitates, your serve has done its job. Now, why are most amateur serves so easy to read? Because you swing forward and down, or forward and up, the direction screams the spin. A truly deceptive serve brushes sideways. Once you go sideways, you can shade slightly up for topspin or slightly down for backspin, and the difference becomes almost invisible. So with hook serves especially, never push straight forward into the ball. Brush to the side, and the deception appears instantly. Remember, sideways friction is where disguise lives. Practice that until both spins come off the same motion.
是的，是不是？对。